Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked. Hello, and welcome to episode 222.
Woohoo!
It is
We
December.
like the number 2. We're not upset about that.
We do like the number 2. It is December, and I plan to bring elements of both toys and the Bible into this conspiracy episode, because what is more Christmas than that, right? But
True.
Also mythical creatures and aliens, because honestly, I don't even want Christmas without those things.
Well, we're still waiting for Santa to come on by, so.
Yeah, I mean, look at my Christmas pants.
I love your Christmas pants.
And my Thanksgiving socks.
Those are awesome. Do you guys have Grinch meals at McDonald's there? That come with socks?
We did for about 3 hours and they sold out.
Oh,
all over the state.
They're so cute. That's all I have on this Christmassy.
Other people opening them and they didn't look that cute. Like, no offense to them, I guess, but they looked very plain. Like, they're not even green. He's the fucking Grinch. Why are they not green?
Ours are different. Mine are green and blue. I'll send it to you.
Are they blue with the Grinch on them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's blue. They're blue socks. That's not the same.
No, they're green and blue.
They're blue.
And
what
red.
color is the base of the sock?
They're mismatched.
What?
Yeah, I just sent you a picture on Instagram. So Kevin got a pair too, because he was jealous that when we shared it the first time that I got the socks, and they're actually soft. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, those are way different than. Hang on, let me find the girl who got them here. I didn't get any, but this one girl did, and she posted it on Facebook. And
so the moral of the story is, I need to go get more nuggets and get you a pair of socks.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah,
those are very sad.
Yeah,
no, ours are way better. Ours
they look like you would get them from the dollar store.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get you a pair.
I got these from the dollar store, and they're way cooler.
Those are way cooler. I'm very happy to know that that's where those are from.
Yeah, and honestly, because all of the fall stuff is 70% off right now, these socks were 30 cents.
I
have about 5 pairs.
Absolutely, as you should.
Okay, before we get into the episode, do you have a fun fact for me?
I do, and so I have a bone to pick with the Alexas of the world.
Yeah.
Because depending on the model of yours, it updated itself to a new voice. Did yours do this?
No, okay. See, must be a different Canada-America thing, because here, to update it, you have to pay a premium. It keeps telling me that I have a free trial if I want to use the new voice, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Trust me, you don't want it.
Like, I don't fucking care about your new voice.
Prepubescent girl. Are you ready? I'll let you listen.
Okay.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Why was the planet wearing suspenders? Because it didn't have an asteroid belt.
Can you hear her though?
Yeah.
I dislike it. So the other day it just happened. I told her to turn off the lights and it did it. And Kevin was like, oh.
Yeah,
mine is that?
Every time I talk to it, it says, so Prime members get a free trial of my new voice. Would you like to try it? And I'm like, no, I don't care about your new voice. This is you.
And
this is who
smarter.
I know. Leave me alone.
Smarter. And this is why I'm always nice to it, because the other day she was being like super sweet to me, and Kevin was like, don't flirt with my wife. And she's like, whoa, now I was just being friendly. It was okay.
Oh my God.
So I dislike that part. But
Yeah.
Always be nice to the robots. But anyway, so I was getting ready for work and I was like, tell me a fun fact for today's episode. That was my whole roundabout way of telling you she has a new voice. And she taught me that in ancient Rome, warriors made energy drinks made out of boiled vinegar and goat poop.
Yeah. Why?
I'm not about to try it myself.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But that is what she taught me today, so that is my fun fact. What's your fun fact?
It is very fun. Instead of a fun fact, I actually have a quick update about a previous case that I have covered. I guess technically these are facts, so it works. Okay, so Brian Walsh as we are recording, is currently on trial for the murder of Anna Walsh, his wife. This is the guy who was on house arrest for art crimes with an ankle monitor that didn't even do anything, as made clear by his movement all over town with what is believed to be Anna Walsh's body as he disposed of it after Googling how to clean up a crime scene, among other things. Emily D. Baker was hosting a live stream event of the entire trial, like she did with the Karen Reed trial. Another similarity, if you don't remember, is that the shitty cops that were supposed to investigate John O'Keefe's murder in the Karen Reed case were the same shitty cops that helped to investigate Anna Walsh's disappearance and eventual presumed death, which makes things a little scary because this crime happened just a year after John O'Keefe died, so still before the officers were ever reprimanded about John's case. Were they acting as idiotic during Anna's investigation as they were during Karen's? We may find out. Actually, update, we won't. I'll get to that. This is a no-body murder case as well, so it's not as easy to convince a jury. Convincing them she is dead, however, is not the issue. The day before the trial was set to start, Brian Walsh took a plea. Now, it was not a deal made to him, and it wasn't for the murder. He decided to change his plea from not guilty on all 3 counts of misleading police, improper disposal of a body, and murder, and instead he pleaded guilty to misleading police and improper disposal of a body, but not guilty to murder. So he's admitting she's dead. So far, well, I say so far.
Sir.
Okay. This is what it seems like. It seems like throughout the trial, which I have been watching updates on, his story is something along the lines of he found her dead of natural causes, but he just knew people would not believe that he didn't kill her.
Yeah. Okay.
So he freaked out and decided to cover up her death altogether so he wouldn't be blamed for her murder.
As we all do. Also,
yeah,
if somebody could suspect you of murdering somebody, if your significant other is found dead, you're the type of person to murder somebody.
Yeah.
Does he still look like a thumb?
He looks worse now somehow.
Oh.
Okay. His grays and his neck is even longer. It's bad. Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to look at that.
Anyway, pleading guilty to the disposal of her body makes it easier to explain all of the Google searches that were obviously brought up. But more importantly to defense, it does make it harder to prove a murder without the body because we can't prove how she died. There's no cause of death or anything. I'm a bit nervous, so obviously keeping my eyes on this case. I have not watched every single minute of it like I did with Karen Reed's case, just the recaps. Yesterday, as we're recording, the prosecution rested their case and expected Brian Walsh to be called to the stands by the defense because in their opening statement, they literally said to the jury, quote, "You will hear from the defendant," end quote. But today, as we are recording this, just before we started recording, a couple hours ago, the defense were like, "Just kidding, we're done. We have nothing else to say." Brian Walsh changed his mind. He is not taking the stand. So they're done. The jury's got to go deliberate now. As of recording.
That doesn't feel like enough information.
No.
Okay.
By the time this episode comes out, I will likely have an update on whether or not he is guilty. After some deliberation, the jury was thankfully able to find Brian Walsh guilty of murdering his wife, Anna Walsh.
Fucking thank God.
All right, let's get back to the episode at hand and talk about the delicious drink that I have.
I'm really upset that you didn't react to the photo I sent you earlier.
I gotta do it here, okay?
It's fucking sadder than it was in work.
In trying to find a drink for this episode, I had a few options that I was looking into and decided to kind of mix all of them together. I first tried to see if I could find a drink called a toy soldier because soldiers are involved in this story and I wanted the drink to be green, but I had no luck doing that. Then I was looking for something referring to Medusa, which I found, but it wasn't green. Then I found something called an Oogie Boogie, which was green and had candy snakes in it. And I was like, yes, that's it. Except it was like 18 different types of alcohol. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So I decided to use the
might
Medusa
need to at a
recipe.
later date, though, because that's fantastic.
I decided to use the Medusa recipe, which is clearly from like a home and garden type magazine, that photo of it. but I modified the recipe a bit to like some of the green ones. For this episode, for this drink, you need orange juice, peach flavored sparkling water or something bubbly, a Russian vodka if you want to have alcohol in it, a little bit of lime juice, and blue Syracuse syrup, which you clearly do not have.
And then I tried to add other ingredients to make it blue, but now it's just a weird brown. So, but I got my snakes.
Your snakes actually don't look bad at all. I could not, for the life of me, first of all, because I knew you were waiting on me and I was rushing, but I couldn't get my my oranges peels to peel. So I used little gummy worms.
Oh, that's way better.
But they're vitamin gummy worms, so they're so tiny. I couldn't get like long ones.
Perfect.
But it is green. I love that it's
and
green.
It's green.
Green is what I wanted.
I'm obsessed with yours. I'm sorry I failed you in that department. I was looking around for blue curacao syrup and I could not find it, and I didn't want to add blue curacao to it or like buy a whole bottle of blue curacao for it. So then I tried food coloring, and as it turns out, that wasn't enough to bypass the orange juice. So
I think I put too much lime in mine. It's very sour.
It is very tasty though. And yours is way prettier. That's a perfect drink for Halloween. I'm just gonna say, or a Christmas party. You'll have to bust it out.
Yes.
And then put like cranberries in it, floating in it, or something. I don't know. It'll
like
work.
A Grinch drink.
Speaking of Grinch, so it is tasty. My little skull cup is rocking some hair. That's what's happening here. I did try to ignore it for a little bit, but now I'm hungrier, so we'll see how this vodka goes.
Okay. All right. I have made some big promises for this episode, but we are going to start with a short story about Medusa. I think we all know the gist of her tale, but there have been some changes through the years, so I just wanted to go over it a bit with you. The most common of Medusa's story is that she was a victim. Born a beautiful lady who worshipped at the temple of Athena, stalked, basically, by Poseidon, until he eventually raped her. Athena then turned Medusa into the monster that she became with snakes for hair as a punishment for being with Poseidon. But that is not her first story. Originally, she was just born a monster, living beyond the oceans at the edge of the world. She was born with snakes for hair, as were her sisters, and she could turn people to stone with her gaze. She was eventually killed, pretty much the same way in both stories, by being decapitated by a man with a mirrored shield. But the reason I bring this up is because stories and legends like this are usually created with some truth behind them. What made the first peoples create the story of Medusa? Did a child see a stone statue and a parent spin a cautionary tale about how not to be turned into stone? Did ancient peoples come upon even more?
Was that a problem then?
I mean, not that like, don't do this, you know, like when kids are like, oh, the boogeyman will get you if you do this, even though the boogeyman's not true. They could be like, oh, you better not be promiscuous or you'll get turned to stone like that naked lady stone figure. You know what I mean?
I was like, was this a problem that evolutionarily we've overcome?
Naked stone people there are so many naked stone people.
It's still a problem.
Okay. Yeah. Problem is the wrong word. Okay. I think it's beautiful. Whatever.
I think it's beautiful too, especially in Europe. But I will say that they did David real dirty.
I mean, we don't know. We weren't there. That could have been. They could have been doing him a favor for all we know.
Oh my
God. Maybe some ancient peoples came upon even more ancient burial sites and believed that the skeletons of long-gone humans were immediately turned from fleshy living beings to stone. Like, you know, they were skeletons, but they didn't know that they were skeletons. You know what I mean? We don't know. Or maybe these ancient peoples encountered some sort of being that literally turned people to stone. For a while, I would have believed that it was more likely a cautionary tale, like Christians later adapted it to be, warning women not to be seductive, or else they could be punished for tempting a man to rape them. Or I would have believed that it was more likely to be a case of ancient peoples who were too arrogant to believe that even more ancient than them people lived before, thinking skeletal remains must be people turned to stone. But after finding the information I'm about to share with you, I think that there is actually a real possibility that these ancient peoples saw something that they could only describe as beautiful, something that came to them from what seemed to be the edge of the world, from the line where the light meets the sea, or maybe right up from the depths of the ocean itself without them even realizing it, something with multiple heads or even multiple small bodies, all connected
I
in one
dislike
place.
that.
In one place to form one entity that could turn human beings into stone.
I don't know why their bodies on it. I don't like that. That reminds me of Stranger Things. It's like the wall in the Upside Down. It's just bodies mashed together. Ugh.
In the year 2000, a CIA document became declassified that spoke of an apparent alien encounter. One of the ways that a lot of these declassified documents stay in the maybe section of our reality instead of fact is that most of them rely on the person they are talking about being truthful. This document is one of these cases. The CIA got a hold of some Russian KGB documents that they analyzed to ensure they were actually KGB and that they translated and put into their own document. So the information in this document is truly, at least as much as we can trust the CIA, truly documented by the KGB, which is just basically the Russian version of the CIA. But again, we have to believe that the KGB was being truthful in the original document to believe the event. The KGB, at the time of documenting these happenings, had no reason to believe that these documents would later land in the hands of anyone else. I don't know why some people seem to think that this event could be fake, but maybe it's a case of blissful ignorance. It is an event so unbelievable and so scary that they would prefer it to be lies made up by the Russian KGB. The event happened in 1991-ish, but it was formally documented by the KGB in 1991. Some people say it happened in 89. Anyway, the CIA finally declassified the information in 2000. The KGB investigated what happened and created a 250-page report based on the event. So what had happened was, in 1991-ish, a Soviet Union platoon grounded soldiers going too fast. In 1991, a Soviet Union platoon, ground soldiers, participating in a training exercise in the area of Ukraine, saw an object flying above them. The object was a classic shape of a flying saucer, a circular disc with a small dome on top. And it was flying really low, so it caught everyone's attention. This was during the Cold War, which wasn't much of a war, more like just anger and tension between the US and the Soviet Union, but we're not doing history with Sierra today. Anyway, the Russian, aka Soviet Union soldiers, were confused by this thing flying closer and closer to them, and they didn't know if it was an enemy, and tensions were already high. So one of them, perceiving it as a threat, starts shooting at it. And the object was hit with a missile. they shot a from the ground to the air missile at this thing, and it crashed to the ground. All 25 or so men from the platoon went over to the wreckage of the object to investigate and find out who was after them and if they still posed a threat against the Soviet Union. But there were not humans inside the flying object. There were beings with, quote, large heads and large black eyes, end quote, that emerged from the flying object. Only 5 came out, but it seems to be unknown if there are any others that were injured during the crash. After emerging from the UFO, the Russian soldiers watched as the 5 beings huddled together. They got closer and closer and closer to each other until it seemed impossible for them to be any closer, and then they merged together, forming one singular being, as if they were Mighty Morphin Power Rangers forming a Megazord.
I mean, we got the inspiration from somewhere. Just
somewhere. According to the document, though, the shape the aliens took was a spherical one, like a large ball of light, a brilliantly bright orb. The orb, or at least the light emitting from it, began to grow larger and larger, and then the light seemed to explode into the sky. As the beautiful, bright light exploded into the sky and the soldiers stared up at it, they instantaneously turned to stone. 23 stone poles were now sitting in the exact places where 23 soldiers once stood. All of this information is only known and able to be investigated because 2 of the 25 soldiers were standing behind or in the shade of trees when the bright light exploded, and they lived to tell the tale.
Can you fucking imagine, though?
Can
One,
you
survivor's guilt, and 2,
believe
really?
that this information is in a fucking CIA document? And the world isn't like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Why are we not talking about this?
Our podcast might get shut down, guys. It's been really
declassified. It is declassified information.
True. Loophole. I was gonna say it's been nice knowing you.
The 250 pages reported by the KGB included a detailed investigation and statements taken from the witnesses. It also included information about the fact that the 23 stone poles that were once Soviet Union soldiers were collected and studied. They didn't just leave the stone pole men there. The studies showed that the entire molecular structure had changed and that these stone poles were now 100% limestone, which is like, yeah, they look like it, but also they used to be humans. Allegedly, what the fuck?
I really need to see this.
I wish there was photos, but I don't think there are.
Damn.
The CIA document tells us all of this information and then ends their own file by saying, quote, if the KGB file corresponds to reality, this is an extremely menacing case. The aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all our assumptions. They can stand up for themselves if attacked. End quote. The CIA wrote those words. What the fuck?
It's like those words.
Ugh. Hearing this story reminded me of the story of Medusa. Obviously, the aliens in the story aren't beautiful women or snake-like, but people refer to things differently according to their time periods. I'm about to send you 2 photos that are wow. Okay, I just sent you 2 photos. The first one, for example, is the first ever portrait of a sloth. Like, that's not what a sloth looks like. The second one is called a suckerith, which is allegedly supposed to be an anteater or a possum. This is coming from the Smithsonian. Like, back in the times of the story of Medusa, this is what they thought sloths and possums looked like. So I imagine if they saw some aliens, maybe they thought she looks like a woman with snake heads. I don't know. I feel like a beautiful woman who is actually a monster with many snake heads turning men into stone with her gaze is not a far cry from a beautiful light built of many smaller monstrous things, turning men into stone when they stare at its brilliant brightness. And to put it into another time period's perspective, it's also not a far cry from the story of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible. In the Bible, there's a story about 2 cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, which had everything they could ever want. The cities were luxurious with nature and beauty and happiness, but all this perfectness made the people more brazen and cocky. They became unwelcoming to outsiders, and they believed they should have freedoms to do whatever they wanted, even commit crimes freely against people less fortunate than them. In attempting to be biblically accurate and not leave things out, I'm going to give a little trigger warning for sexual assault and PDF files because the fucking Bible is weird. So God came down disguised as a stranger to check out the town of Sodom and Gomorrah to see how bad they were, planning to destroy them if they needed to be destroyed. One man welcomed him into his home and fed him, but the rest of the townspeople wanted to rape the newcomer because he was a stranger. Yes, this is what the Bible says, people. The welcoming man offered up his daughters for raping instead. And then God was like, okay, that's enough. It's time to burn this whole place to the ground. It fucking sucks here. He made it rain fire on both cities, but allowed the welcoming man and his 2 daughters and his wife to escape first. He said to leave and not look back at the burning city. The welcoming man's wife, however, mourned over the freedoms she was leaving in the city of luxury and did look back. And in doing so, she was turned to stone. And then there's some creepy part about the 2 girls getting their dad drunk so they could bear his children, because the Bible is fucking weird. But the moral of this story, I think, is supposed to be kind and welcoming to outsiders or strangers. If we put this into context with the CIA case, once again, we have a beautiful, the city, bright light on fire, turning someone looking at it, the wife, to stone. And in this scenario, we also have an outsider coming into the area, just like the aliens would have been outsiders coming on to Earth. So once again, like we've seen with a lot of strange tales, Mothman being one that immediately comes to my mind with the ancient bird people sightings, there are similarities in the Greek mythology lore, the Christian era biblical stories, and the present day, or at least in our lifetimes, legends of supernatural entities. And to me, this just solidifies it in my mind that if there is some quote unquote all-powerful entity such as a god, they are aliens. But I guess to others who choose not to believe, the 2 surviving Russian soldiers may have just killed the other 23 and made this whole story up to get away with it, or agreed to let them go AWOL and lie for them. Who knows? It's interesting though, right? This whole fucking CIA case I never knew about.
It's very interesting. That in the Bible is full of the original scary stories to deliver messages, I swear.
Yeah.
It's amazing that, most of us have anxiety. But I think it's interesting. And if things like Mothman can exist, why can't stone people?
I mean, it just makes sense that people have been seeing people be turned to stone
all
since
of the
the beginning of
statues
time.
All over the world actually just stone people.
I don't know about that. Especially when we sometimes watch people create the statue. But
that's true. I was taking it to a place of conspiracy. But that was awesome. It was like an elongated urban legend, not urban legend.
It's like a triple urban legend.
The CIA can be an urban legend in itself. God, weird shit everywhere.
Weird
like the
shit
Montauk
everywhere.
Project, this.
Yes, exactly.
I think
these are the things they admit to.
Right? Aliens. I know.
What are they not admitting to?
Terrifying. Terrifying, truly.
Yeah.
Well, I like that. Nothing says the holiday season like aliens and Medusa.
Yeah. And
also, what is the Bible's obsession with snakes? Like snake hair with Medusa and
well, I don't think Medusa's in the Bible.
No, that's true. That's right. My version of the Bible, she should be. But there's the whole snake thing with Adam and Eve, and it's just like, snakes are always portrayed as evil. I don't think they're evil. They're scary. And they're definitely not evil.
You said you had something happy you were excited to share.
Kevin and I are going downtown tonight to the Fairmont Hotel on Georgia Street that I told you about once upon a time. That's haunted. That has a lady in red. And we are going to a little pop-up bar that they have in there called Kringle's for dinner and drinks.
Are you bringing any equipment?
No.
How lame.
I know. He won't let me.
Just stick it in your pocket. He'll never know.
I gotta bring the littler ones. But apparently they also do a pop-up speakeasy that we know of that honors the lady in red. And then at Halloween this year, they did a bar called Jinx that I missed. So I'm sad about that, but it does look pretty cute, although it does look like there's more drinks than food. So it looks like I might be getting your Grinch meal tonight on the way home, but it looks really cute inside, so I'm excited.
That is exciting.
Do you have anything happy?
This weekend we're having a Merry Mahjong Marathon. And we will be playing Mahjong for probably about 13 or 14 hours straight.
I'm obsessed.
In my Christmas pajamas. That's why I bought these. I'm
Merry
excited.
Mahjong. That's very
Merry Mahjong Marathon.
I like
and the
it.
boys are going to have a movie marathon.
That's really cute. I love playing games.
Mahjong is great. You should learn it.
Well, I don't have anyone here to play with.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to accept me into their Mahjong community.
You got to go look for one. I'm sure they will. Here they even do classes. Like if you don't know how to play, you can go to a Mahjong class event.
Is it complicated?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
But I love it.
Okay.
I like learning intricate things.
I do too, but sometimes my brain doesn't work at that level, and I'm very competitive, so it's just like the two on top of each other are not good.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules, but it's fun. Sissy learned how to play, so me and Sissy like to play together.
That's so cute. Did you tell her that
awesome.
you're going to be a Mahjong set when you're dead?
Yeah, I told all of them. I told all my friends, and they're like, "You're ridiculous."
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, if people turn their loved ones into diamonds, why can't you be a Mahjong set? Okay?
Why can't I be a Mahjong set?
It's unique. Name somebody else that's a Mahjong set. Just say it. I'm going to Google this, but I shouldn't. Watch, I'm going to get like a very expensive version that is made out of like dead people. Because aren't they bones? They're all bones anyway.
Not all of them. No, like at the beginning of time,
I asked you if they were consensual bones.
At the beginning of time, they were made of bone. Now they're made of like, plastic or melamine or glass or whatever.
Yeah. So they say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you, and I am excited to share my holiday-related ridiculousness with you next week. And that's not words. If you liked this week's episode, don't forget to leave us 5 stars wherever you are listening. And in the meantime,
keep it twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alecia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.